Hey folks, welcome back to Timberborn and our update 7 Let's Play. So last time we got bots going and we seem to be in quite a good position already in that the bots are being quite efficient in that with the employment manager mod, with the pausing of things and stuff, actually it's working out quite well. So yep. I think one of the issues we do have is around automate ingredients, so I'm going to just turn that off, and that way these guys should run as soon as they have enough stuffs, which will be good. These we will make sure are on automate products, so that once they fill up the storages, they do stop. And I think probably it does look like we could do with a bit more gear production. We could try and expand our sprawling mess down here, or we could just be kind of cognizant of the fact that we're doing work over here, and we could just put a gear workshop in here. Probably a relatively sensible idea. We've got planks here anyway. We can automate it off of, and we could even have a bot do the gears over here for these guys. It's kind of not quite how it works because it's all one district at the moment, but yeah. With all of the gear heavy construction we have going on, it probably makes sense. It would also probably make sense to have a storage over here for paper. I think is the paper mill up and running. It has the possibility to be, we will automate off of products so that it does actually pause. And I'm guessing our power grid is going to be struggling a bit. So something I learned on the Timberboard Discord, I think it was one of the developers posted. So the reason that you get this is the game actually works out which way round power shafts should be turning. And if it gets to the point where two power shafts meet and they should be turning in opposite directions, it puts one of these in. So I think that's really cool. I think they're finding at the moment there's more of them than there should be. But yeah, that's why in long straight runs, you might occasionally get one of these, like we have over here. So yeah, I think that's awesome. I really like that. So we've got this project going on. We need to work on a few things. We need to get the power hooked up. Now, there was a request that we use a tunnel to help hook the power up from here. Just wondering on the route at all, actually. We want to avoid our main tunnel, obviously. And we need to get to somewhere here. Now, we could sort of come across and across. And maybe that's the play. Maybe that's the play. Maybe we do just put in a big tunnel. So we come in a little bit. If I get some, so don't really want to run it Or do we? No. We want to come to the side of the big tunnel. So we need to come off. We're here-ish. So actually, water sources in. That's our main water sources. We want to avoid the water sources, basically. Which means probably we came across in line with those stairs. Let's just pause the game a second. It's going to be the easiest way to... We came out like that. Yeah. And then we've got this gear workshop here. So if we came in back here, there. There, okay. So I can get both of those in view. There. Not easily. Let's put... if I put path 1 in front of it and get the tunnel back over there, there, yep, so that should there. Right, so that's lined up with that, and then if we come forward, I guess what we want to do is what's a marker there, so it's one in front of the big hole. Go to there. If I keep the mouse over that. Yep. Building this is going to be a bit of a challenge, I think. And technically, they've got access to all of it. Probably what we're going to need to do is knock that out. But in theory, that gives us a tunnel which will connect, which will allow us to connect this to this. It's a bit of a build, but, you know, why not? Why not, hey? Let's just run that path there. We will want to run the path in, because they're going to need a path. Which is why I put that there, so that we could put some stairs there. We may as well delete that. There we go. And that means we want to have dynamite and extract over here. And extract, obtain. I prioritize those. Over here, obviously, we're making the dynamite and extract, so that shouldn't be a problem. We can now get bots going on those jobs, which is going to help with our injury rate, which will be good. Were they working? Bad water, logs. We've got logs. I'm going to set that storage to be logs set to obtain. There's a log storage right there. Why are you not? I think that might have been a find your words. Automation issue. Yeah. It's running now. Awesome. Let's get that going in there. I have now, thank you Nama, you're my guide on controls for Timberborn. I have deleted the keyboard shortcut for resetting the terrain thingy when you roll it down. Wow, again, good job on getting those in. So if we got those built, I'm going to normal prioritize those. Actually, they've got to build all of that first, but that in theory would connect up this battery. But they have so much building to do. The other cool tip from Mr. Namur was that if we want to find out where all the water sources are, we can just roll the map down, and that will tell us that there are indeed very many of them. So, and there's that, whatever it is. It's our dirt excavator. Okay. So yes, I guess these guys will now be focused pretty solidly on building lots of stuff. So while they're focused on that, I want to have a little look at well-being. So not everyone has the wet fur bonus, which should be an easy win. We forgot to have running, so we've lost some there, because what we could do, I mean, the easiest easy win would be to shift the medical beds to that side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. And let's prioritize the build of those. You're automated on products. Brilliant. You're just working. Excellent. And then we could delete these. Now, actually, maybe we'll leave those. I'm just thinking that if we built them there, then a lot of the time they wouldn't have access to water. So maybe what we do is we build them somewhere they will have access to water, like off the back of the water pumps. Because there's zipline access to this. And this, I would be amazed if this ever dried out. We could add too far. Okay. This now should be letting even more water in. It won't measure it here because this is 1.4 cms. It's measuring more, but it won't measure it properly because water flows. It doesn't measure vertical water flow. So, yeah. The other thing that I wanted to do, which we haven't got around to doing yet, building the power shaft through this is going to be a nightmare. You people with your ideas, because we're basically going to have to build it one piece at a time. The other thing that I wanted to do, and I haven't got in TIMBERBORN, or have I? Mods. I have. Show coordinates. That's what we want. So this is at level 2. So this is level 3. Load that up. So this is level 9. So we have a lot of dynamiting to do. I didn't realise TIMBERBORN had that feature until JC pointed it out. But what I want to do is, 1, give the beavers access to this, which means building a staircase, which without the ladders mod is a bit of a pain. Sounds like my neighbour had a good night. Another drought approaching, that's good. We're going to have to turn that. Right, let's do that. And what we should also do is that. And then let's go triple dynamite there. Double dynamite there. Triple dynamite through there. We're going to need to give them access to that. So that needs single and then triple. They're going to need a ladder there. They're going to need some pathage through there. That can all be double dynamite. And another ladder there. single dynamite. And that should get that all down to, well, once that's gone and we've put the triples in, well, just encourage them to do that bit when they get in there. Those do not need to be hauler prioritized. We are making cracking progress there, but yeah, these are connected up now. 3 spare bots, so you can go to be bots. This has run out of power, so let's look at putting in more windmills. Too far to be reached, so how can we get them to that? We can delete that. We can put a staircase there, which needs to be high priority. But yes, we have a power generation issue. I guess we should have all of these set to suspend if no power. Can they get to that? Yep. That will at least recharge the batteries while it's not connected to anything. Come on. How's our plank? Our plank supply is not good. Our plank productions all running? Yes. Right, let's reconnect that. Yeah, I know we could blast out under there, but do we have access? We do. We might as well. More path. There's the drought. It's really nice having everything more automated now and having to panic for everything. Right, where were we? Well-being. So we've got more for wet fur. All of the food is full. Agoras and scarecrows. And it feels kind of wrong to put a scarecrow in the accommodation complex, but if that's what beavers enjoy, then who am I to argue with them. And what we should actually do is build it there. Next to that. And then if we do similar. There. There. That should help with that. We need to build an agora somewhere and a carousel. That is going to be a challenge, I think. But or an opportunity, some might say. Just thinking, well-being, agora, it's land only, but that shouldn't limit us these days, should it? If we came in here, and I can't remember how big the agora is. Needs to be another 2. Well-being, agora. Yeah, so that would be big enough. We just need to go back one more for an entrance. So we can do that. We can delete those ones and they can stay as platforms. And then, no, not you. Delete that, delete that. We can put dirt on there. And then we can put an agora there. Yes, it's a little bit cheaty, but isn't that the intent of being able to build terrain on things? I'm going to prioritize that. We probably need more than one, you know. Then I might as well blast this all the way down. So it can sort of keep up when the wind's blowing, depending on what we are demanding from it, I guess. And now we're out of planks. Now that is addressable. I want to keep those ones, so yeah. Let's get some planks back, shall we? This feels kind of wrong. I'm a bit of me. And yes, you could say, well, don't do it. But at the moment, we really need the resources. And I know that there is a limit to, you know, unsupported structures. And so maybe it's not wrong. But it does feel a little bit cheaty to be able to delete the supporting structure. But that will help us with our plank problem significantly. So. Which in turn will help us with our gear problem. So yes. That one can be detonated and is not a problem. That can be detonated, which means that can be deleted, and the double dynamite can be placed there. I'm going to give that a little bit of a nudge in priority. Those need placing. Hoping we'll put a bit of path in just to help get those. Yep. All right, that's going in. Awesome. Good stuff. In preparation for further building, we'll mark those for deletion in the future. And we are going to need to clear this out in the near future. So let's plan for that as well. Yep. We have 11 spare. I'm guessing we don't have any power. We didn't have any power. Yeah. I wonder if this is a little bit cheesy. I'm going to this is a little bit cheesy. When there's no power, the bots can do a little bit of hauling for us. So that's nearly to the turning point. So actually it's not taking as long as I thought to build this tile. They're doing okay. We've now got 180 planks back. The dynamite supply is holding up surprisingly well. That's still getting built. Awesome. That's almost built. Yeah, I mean, we've got 4 spare bots, so I think we put those in here, which means we need to come over here and have a tank for biofuel. Prioritize building that, set that to obtain. That should really help with our injuries, which is what the purpose of this was. So yep, that's fine. So yeah, when there is power, there's almost enough depending on the demands on the system. When there isn't power, things are not so good. So just because that's full, we full on dirt. We are. I think I'm just going to pause that until we actually need to use it. And And we'll just keep an eye and make sure that when this number gets too low, we'll then find other things. Maybe we should probably have you be a bot. Yeah. We prioritised the Agora, but not the platforms, which let them build the Agora. That was silly, wasn't it? So the other thing we're going to need is... this takes extract, I believe. Yeah, only 0.2. We might just prioritise it by haulers. We'll see. Yeah, so that'll help with that one. Scarecrows are being built. So books is the other one. I don't want to do books at the moment because paper we're going to need an awful lot of for the windmills. And I'm actually thinking I want to find somewhere like there to put in another storage for paper. So that's all of that in. It just needs to all be built out, so we'll just leave them to get on with that. That's a low priority job. Obviously the sooner we get this connected the better with our power issues, but equally we need to get it built as well. We need the power connection built is what I mean. And that is going to be a bit of a challenge, so yeah. And we need the ability to generate power to be built. We're doing okay. We are progressing forwards. And our number of injuries has dropped significantly. We have a lot of spare beavers at the moment, so I think wouldn't be a bad idea to go a couple of builders' huts and another hauling post. To help speed up the process. As we all know, it is a process. You can't add more builders to a builder's hut. Yeah, well, you can if you have less than 4 set, but not if you only got 4 set. We can now plant a lot more trees around here, so let's do that. Not that we need them at the moment, but we may in the future. So let's come in here and do that. Let's mark them all for cutting. There we go. Our tree stocks are actually not full, which is kind of amazing. So let's finally unpause those 2 lumberjacks. I know. You do not need to be prioritized. We'll leave them there because you never know. It might be useful having a little bit of storage there. Okay, that's getting done now. Cool. How are we looking now? We are connected. So what we're going to do is delete the last of the platforms. Yep. We're going to prioritize the collection of the planks. Thank you. And then power. We want a stack of solid power shafts all the way to the top. And we'll make that a high priority as well. There we go. Awesome. Agora is in. Let's make sure you're prioritized by haulers. That's going to last, yeah, we'll just let that work like that. I think if it's going to last 50 hours. We've got enough spare beavers now that you can just stay in there doing that job, I think. They seem to be doing okay for scrap metal now. Scrap metal is full, so yep. Guess these are waiting on gears, okay. So that stuff's all getting built. We need to keep an eye on this. And I guess as soon as the bottom one is built, which it is, we can start the process, and it is going to be a process, very slow, painful one, of connecting everything up. 54 well-being, awesome. We've got some flooded buildings. Yep. We should remember that we always get flooded buildings. It's not worth me building more windmills there, I don't think. Hopefully someone's going to come build that nice and quick. And those are being worked on. Those need gear, so they're going to take a while. We will... I mean, the other way to do it is you do that, and then you pause the ones. I don't know if it's quicker or not, actually, but... So they're now working on the last one of those. There we go. So we can now come in here. Let's put one of them in. Then we'll delete some path. And we'll put a few. And hit our pause button. Head down, unpause that. And repeat the process. $55 well-being. So, yeah. That is going to take me quite a while. But really the key now is getting this stuff built. And then what we'll do is we will link up across to this power grid as well. So it starts to become a single power grid. But we are going to end with a bang. Slightly shorter video today, I'm afraid, but I am somewhat time constrained today. So, and this is just going to take a fair while of, bit like with the Ember Pelts video, it's just a bit repetitive and I think just not the most enjoying thing to watch. So, yeah, I'll get it sorted off camera. But then we'll have to extend the ladder down. Now, if I was being sensible, I would delete those. I would delete those. Actually, that one could have stayed. And that would be a 2. That would be a 1. And that would be a 3. And we would use a natural staircase. So that's what we'll do. So we'll get these last few pieces put in. But that means we can detonate that one. And there we go. We can detonate that one. And we just need to wait for those. And hopefully we can detonate. Hopefully I've got this right. There. You know, I'm not sure I have. No. I haven't. God, I'm a dummy. That goes down 1. Those go down 2. Good job I checked. There we go. I will wait till the morning now. Let's come over here. Some more of these in. We have a few more spare bots, so we're already doing bots on fuel. Lots on dynamite. What's the next dangerous job? Let me know in the comments what we need to boticize next. But there we go. That's that in. So then we'll be able to do that, and that will let us continue to go down. We're at 8. We want to get down to the same level as this, so 2. So we've got a bit more to go. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed the video. Continuing to work on the botification, I guess. It's a slow process. It's a slow process. This tunnel is going to be a definite off-camera job, but they've got in most of the gravity batteries now, which is cool, because that's a lot of gears and planks done. Those have got all of their planks, a lot of their planks and paper, so that's good. So I think we're just on a lot of gears now, and those are just logs, so that's just time. So yeah, I think we're looking quite good at getting this finished. Obviously the connecting it up is time, patience. So, yeah, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. We are accumulating the bot parts. So these guys should be pausing soon. I guess they'll keep going because we keep making bots. We've only got 17 so far. But yeah, I guess at the moment, technically, we've got quite a few spare bots, because if I pause that, we've now got 6 spare bots. So let me know what you think we should do with our 6 spare bots. Definitely open to your suggestions. I mean, this is kind of nugatory, really, isn't it? Once we've got it hooked up to the big array over here. But we may as well. It'll give us a little bit of resiliency until we are. This is all doing just fine. Why are you not? Just plank shortage. Okay. But yeah, what I want to do with this, we didn't need dynamite placed out here. It's me getting carried away with my dragging of things. While I ramble away as we end things, I assume most of you remember, but if you don't, the plan is to, I guess we could put the tunnel in, couldn't we? Path. Because it might make sense to put that in and the sluice before we get down there. So about there. Yeah. So the plan is to tunnel through into this reservoir with a sluice gate. To be able to keep this hydrated. Or to have it hydrated. I decided to do this route rather than, and we might still experiment with the suggestion of having sluice gates on the drops here to have water flow through this as well. Anyway, I'm doing a really bad job of ending the video. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members. And I will see you all next time.